One of the greatest gifts running has given me is really it strengthened my faith and connection with God. And I want to share with you something that I learned about faith. Hello, my walkers and runners. So happy to see you here. Hope it's going amazing. Remember, I'm always here to answer any of your questions, cheer you on, support you in your training, helping you achieve your goals. So one of the greatest gifts running has given me is really it strengthened my faith and connection with God. And I want to share with you something that I learned about faith, or in Hebrew we call it Emunah, belief in God. And something I often tell people who ask me, I don't understand, how do you have so much faith? Because when I go out to a race, I'm able to get to the start line calmly and confidently because I trust that God has a plan for me and that God's going to take care of me. And I know that, I feel confident whatever the outcome is part of God's plan for me. And I always say, I don't expect a miracle, but I show up to the start line knowing every step I take is a miracle. So here's what I've discovered about faith. Emunah is really a muscle, like any other muscle in our body. And as you all know, if you don't work out your muscles, what happens? Not only do they not get stronger, they get weaker. In order for us to build muscle, what do we have to do? We have to push it, and we have to repeatedly, apply force to that muscle so that we come out stronger, right? You want to get stronger legs, you go out and run every single day. You're going to get a lot stronger in all of those muscles, your quads, your hamstrings, your calves, because you keep repeatedly going through those motions, so it builds up the strength. Faith is the same thing. If we want to build up that faith, that emunah, that trust in God, we have to repeat certain things to develop it. So when you're going through a situation that, might be difficult, and you're able to say in that moment, this is not exactly what I planned, this is not exactly what I wanted, but I trust that God has a plan for me, and that this is what's best for me. You say it, you repeat it, you remind yourself of it, you really accept it and believe it. You know what? The next time around, when you come to a situation where things don't go as expected, and you repeat those same words, I trust that this is part of God's plan for me. I know that this is the best for me. It's going to get a little bit easier. You have become a little bit stronger. And then the next time around, and and these situations can come up every single day, so many different cases. And we work on building up that acceptance, that serenity, that surrender to God, that knowledge that He is running the world. He's planned out for every single step of the day we're going to take. He's got that plan for us. He has our back. And even if things don't look exactly the way we envisioned, and even when there are lots of twists and turns in our life, and believe me, every single one of us is going to go through those twists and turns, we can say it. We're building up that emunah muscle. And I've seen personally, literally, in the 4.5 years that 4.5 years ago I started running. And running really opened my eyes to another dimension, a spiritual dimension of myself that I always had, but maybe wasn't as in touch with. And it allowed me to experience it in a real physical way. And when I had to keep showing and then have certain situations in my life, and when I go through those situations and I'm able to repeatedly tell myself and really know it, God's running the show. He has my back. It's gotten easier. The first time I said it, maybe I didn't really feel it, but I just said it. I just went through the motion. I was struggling with it. I couldn't accept it fully. But then 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, hundreds of times later, because yes, there have been hundreds of situations. And now, when I come to something difficult, I can take a deep breath and I can say it with a smile and I can really feel it and it just comes easy. I'm not even struggling with it. Before, to accept something was so hard for me. I didn't have that faith muscle yet. I hadn't developed it. Now, when I got that parking ticket that I really didn't want, when, some bill landed in, my daughter had a hospital bill, I can just accept it. I can just know. And I can say it calmly. I challenge every single one of you as part of this walking and running challenge, not only to build up your physical strength, but to practice living with serenity through Emunah. When those moments that challenge you come, to say, God, I accept it. I know this is part of your plan for me. And see where it takes you. And keep me posted on your physical and spiritual running journey.